Welcome, welcome. Let's get the blue castle on up. Let's do that. We got to set up the blue bricks. We got to set up the blue foundation. Appreciate everybody jumping on in. Much love to everybody here. How about we set up a little bit of this for now? How about we set up a little bit of that for now? We'll get the blue castle up later, but got to show some love. Let's go. What is up? How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Blue Foundation, Green Giants, Deep Red Alliance to another Deep Red episode. And man, it's been Deep Reds. Man, that retrograde is hitting hard. Luckily, we're just chipping away, huh? Luckily, we're not going all in. Luckily, we're not FOMOing in like so many people do. Luckily, we don't chase pumps, right? People chase pumps left and right, all over the place. Not the Blue Foundation. We always have ammunition left in the tank, man. And I was chipping away today. Just, yeah, I'll take $2 on the verge of $2 XRP. I'll take a little bit of 20-cent XLM. I'll take $7 Multiverse X. I'll take $1 Filecoin. I'll take 50-cent AKT. I'll take some Osmo, right at 8 cents. My gosh, man, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing, giving us opportunities like this. It is ridiculous. What a shame. What a shame. I'm disappointed in them, man. I'm disappointed in them. How dare they? I'm also grateful for the opportunities, man. We still got Cody at 3 cents. We still got Rose at a penny. We got the full stack crypto at 0004. Right? We got Aqua at 000s. What an amazing time to be alive, man. What an amazing time to be in the digital asset space. So many people are going like, oh no, my portfolio, what's happening? Oh gosh, right? Oh man, look at those thousands just dropping at the bit, right? Nope. Unfortunately, or fortunately for us, we just keep chipping away. This is why we just do coffee money, you guys. This is why we don't freaking grow gray hairs. This is why we're bullish all the freaking time, right? This is why we're ninjas. This is why we're freaking tigers. Let's go. It's tough to have that discipline. It's tough to just be like, okay, what do I choose my $10 or $15 to go into today? And then you get that energy like, oh, you know what? Let me throw in a little bit more, right? Let me throw in a little bit more today. No. We stick to it, man. We stick to coffee money little bit at a time because it can get redder tomorrow. It can get redder tomorrow, right? Who posted up about retrograde being possibly a delay? I'm not saying ISO 20022 is going to be a dud because that's still coming up on the 22nd and we understand how powerful that 22 number is, right? Still looks like it's launching on the 22nd, right? But don't be surprised if it's a dud because of Mercury retrograde, right? But, we've already been experiencing a heavy dose of this retrograde since the 9th. Right? Since our, it's just been dipping this whole month, man. December is going to be fantastic. The first half of December is going to be exciting. We're going to get relief, right? We're going to get relief pumps that end up coming in the beginning halves of December. Very excited for those. And then people are all of a sudden, dude, how about all those people who were talking about ICP when it pumped, talking about Zcash when it pumped, talking about Filecoin when it pumped. Now you don't see them posting so much about it anymore because it freaking went down, right? They retraced. They started going into the red zones. Now there's not as much education on those cryptos. Why not? I thought you were bullish. I thought you were excited. Seems like you only want to talk about your cryptos after they pump. Seems like you don't want to talk about your cryptos when they're in the deep reds. Seems like you're too afraid. What's up, Silver Days? Appreciate you jumping on in. Thanks for double tapping the screen for the like, everybody. Legendary, the Riddler, the Green Riddler in the house. What's up, man? Mo Zerps in the house. Appreciate you. Guys, shout out to everybody here who's been supporting the channel. AM Wood, Hustle Hard Crypto, the usual suspects. Quentin Miller. Much love to all of y'all. Josiah Turner, cheers to you, man. We got to get a beer one day for sure. Josiah Turner. Sam, that SHX, dude, SHX went, I think, even to 007, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it might have touched it for a brief second, but yeah, dude, I love my setup in the Lobster ecosystem or in that XLM ecosystem, man. I'm cranking out Faux, cranking out Aqua and cranking out Dog Star. And every time I just do a combination of those three and throw them into XLM and throw them into SHX, rinse and repeat, right? Hell, I even accumulate some more Aqua, right? I'll just accumulate some more Aqua while it's in the triple zeros. We know this thing's going to be a freaking beast. The Aqua must flow, right? Loving that XLM ecosystem. Love taking advantage of how low sentiment it is. Got to get as many X's as we can, right? We've talked about our narrowed focus. We're sticking with the X's, man. Hell, Madonna was Madam X, right? We got the X platform bringing X identity with X rails and X money, right? The future is a freaking X. X is the completion of a cycle, right? Gotta love it. And then, of course, we like our V cryptos, V chain, Block V, right? Virtuals, Veracity, right? The V cryptos can't sleep on those either. Can't sleep on those either. Oh, what the heck is going on here? My alarm goes off. That's terrible. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Okay. There we go. Threw in another 100 into XX this morning. Dude, XX teetering on that line of 009, but that's a great deep red. It's on our deep red list today for sure. XX, another great X. I mean, dude, there's like, what, 5 pure X's that I really like, right? Obviously, XRP, XLM, Sirius, XX Network, and then XTZ, right? XDC as well. So let's say the six X's to keep an eye out for, right? Dude, Tezos. People are sleeping big time on Tezos. You want to know what another filter is? You know, we've been talking about filters in order to find these quality cryptos with real tech and how to, really strictly judge them based on pure technology. Another filter is asking, does it need to hard fork, right? Does it need to fork in order to do upgrades on the blockchain? Tezos is one of them that does not have to. It's a self-amending blockchain. This thing does its own thing. It never forks. It doesn't believe in forking. Neither does the Great Star, right? That one doesn't believe in forking, right? XRP and XLM don't have to, right? They don't have to fork. Wonderful stuff. HBAR doesn't have to fork. Algorand doesn't have to fork, right? A lot of blockchains, if they're pushed to it or for their upgrades, they're still kind of like old school blockchains where they got to fork, right? Businesses don't want that. Businesses don't want that. They want the solution already natively on the protocol, on the blockchain, right? They don't want to have to keep track. Oh, okay, now you're forking. Now we got to get this other crypto as well, right? Blood on the streets bought a lot more. Quentin Miller, I got you, man. I'm just a ninja, dude. I chip away every single day, whether it's, there's always some deep red to take advantage of during these bear cycles, right? So I just pick my deep red of choice and I just chip away little by little. Sure, maybe I get that FOMO energy and I'm like, man, I want to throw 100 in today, but I just know the moment that I do that, it tanks even more, and I'm going to wish that I had that $50 or $75, right, to buy in on that other dip. Hell, chances are, as we're getting closer to the end of this retrograde and the end of this month, we may get a Black Friday sale on crypto. We may get a Black Friday dump on crypto, a massive dump on digital assets. Cyber Monday. We may get a freaking Cyber Monday deal on digital assets. That all falls within the retrograde timeline, right? So the reds could get redder, man, but we are getting very close, I think, to bottom zones. I'm certainly hoping there's what I'm really waiting is for that one major red candle that just is a stupid red candle that starts to wick on up, right? That goes to lows that are like unimaginable, and then it just wicks on up really quick, because that's when we really start hitting a bottom and we really are starting to turn into that bull cycle era. It's happened for these past 2 bull cycles, right? You get that one massive shakeout before the breakout. This is definitely part of the wave of the shakeout, but you also get that one ridiculous red candle that just wicks on up, and then we start seeing that little incline towards the upside. Right? But these are the times, man. These are the times. The foe must flow. Oh, yeah, it must. I love just converting my foe. Dude, I've started to do even like I was doing originally faux USDC pools. Now I'm starting to now that we're building up some faux and adding in some XLM, I'm going to do some faux XLM pulls, right? Just like I'm doing aqua XLM pulls, right? Especially in the early days, right? In these deep breads. Because then when they start to turn green, ooh, baby, those rewards are going to be sweet, right? And this is where you get your highest rewards, right? Because they give you bigger rewards while it's dipping, right? Same thing with the Cosmos ecosystem. They're trying to shake out people of the Cosmos ecosystem big time. What's up, Knight? Appreciate you jumping on in, man. Thanks for supporting us on the X, by the way, my dude. I am so grateful. I see your likes and I appreciate it, man. AI Sora. Yeah, dude. So what, you're saying I'm Sora AI? You're saying I'm Sora AI? Velo is a bargain. Yeah, 005. Yeah, Velo is one of those Vs for sure. If you're into Velo definitely looking like at a bargain at 005. Tokenize uranium on XTZ. I know exactly, man. Already for over a year. Uranium. What do you, dude? Real estate, Dubai real estate's already on XTZ. Super quiet crypto. Dude, when you don't see the founders of these projects that are Dino coins, doesn't mean they rugged the freaking project, man. It just means their tech worked. They made some freaking deals. It doesn't mean for every project, but I'm thinking for Tezos, how high quality. Dude, they have legitimate, like they have, what's it called? Ubisoft, right? I think it's Ubisoft, or Bungie, one of those big gaming platforms that is making, like NFTs on the Tezos blockchain. These are like enterprise level NFTs that are on the Tezos blockchain, right? So Tezos, XTZ, man, silent blue X crypto that nobody freaking talks about. Absolutely nobody. The lack of respect that XTZ gets, man, is freaking insane. I don't get it. At all, man. These are wonderful deals. Like under $1 XTZ for a crypto that used to be like what, $6+? Oh, I'll take it all day. What you thinking about that Tel news, G? Yeah, I mean, Telcoin, very interesting. Not the biggest fan of Tel personally. I'm more into, once again, I'm just narrowing the focus onto X cryptos, cryptos that can provide decentralized recovery, hybrid cryptos, as much of a full stack digital asset. But if you're into Tel, I mean, it's going to make you filthy gains in the 2026 bull cycle. Everything is going to go up in the 2026 bull cycles. Even the cryptos that you're not too bullish on are going to make filthy gains in this. This is when the bubble pops, guys. This is when the bubble peaks, and then the pop will follow right after, right? But enjoy the peak. The peak is going to dude, I think it's going to be a multi-month bull cycle. They're going to try to get as many people in as freaking possible. Right? We thought there was, like, I already had some friends and family members asking me about, hey, how do I set up a Coinbase? How do I buy crypto? Right? I think it's going to be, even now that SoFi allows for it, now that Robinhood allows for it, right? You're going to have PayPal, Venmo, all of this stuff was built, the onboarding of these digital assets on some of the popular platforms was built during this bear cycle. Believe it or not, a lot has happened since this last bull cycle. Right? There's been a lot of implementations, a lot of inclusion. Dude, there's going to be so many avenues and so much more ease of use of how, dude, banks are going to allow for you to purchase probably Bitcoin through them, right? They're going to try to bring everybody in on this bull cycle, and then they're going to wreck everybody. They're going to wreck them. Right? I don't even know why I'm laughing, because it's going to be terribly sad. I mean, a lot of things are going to change. The centralized system is definitely going to get compromised, and traditional rails are going to get freaking destroyed. Hackers are freaking coming. I mean, get ready to just keep hearing about hackers, you guys. No matter how great this digital system is going to be, there's always going to be a community of hackers there to try to exploit it, right? That's what's going to happen. Life-changing entry on Tibber, that's for sure. Tibber is what, 22 cents now? 23 cents? Definitely, man. Happy we weren't chasing the pumps there and we just waited for some retracements there. Tibber not looking too bad. XRP glitched to 91 cents. Nice. Let's freaking go. Go buy a Walmart TV on Black Friday. Most people will. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be buying freaking digital assets. That's what I'm going to be doing. Tel plus pull. I feel like I've heard of pull. Let me check out pull again. But yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the Telcoin, and you know, once again, I don't chase news. I'm not. If I wasn't in on Telcoin during the deep reds, we talked about Telcoin in the deep reds before the national bank announcement or whatever that they did with Nebraska. You know, I feel like, you know, Tel's going to do fine in the 2026 bull cycle. I'm just more focused on cryptos that can, you know, are already, you know, steps ahead of where, you know, Tel is like kind of following suit with some of these cryptos that have already been setting up infrastructure like that is similar to that. I don't want to talk too much crap on it because Tel's going to probably do some amazing things. It's a blue crypto. It allows for fast, easy, cheap transactions. That's going to benefit it greatly. I think Tel is going to do well. You know, it's just not really my bag, but that means it's probably going to do even more amazing, right? That's probably means it's going to do some amazing things if it's not in my bag, right? So good for you if you have Tel, right? Sometimes I'm like anti-Kramer here, or like Kramer, right? You want to do sometimes the opposite of what I'm feeling. And probably owning some Tel is going to probably be a good idea. The only other person who talks about XTZ is Christopher Green on AMTV. Nice. Okay, well, at least there's somebody else out there, man. Some of these were on an island on our own, man, until the cryptos pump, and then all of a sudden all these influencers all, knew about it, right? Knew about these freaking cryptos, right? A guy friend of a friend sold me his BTC today, $1 fiat for $1.35 BTC. What? That's interesting. I don't even know what that means, Patsy. Patsy Avelli. What's up, dude? Random friends asking Marks the top. Yeah, exactly. That's when you know it's the top, right? When you have friends and family coming to you, that's when you're starting to chip away towards taking profits. You're taking profits daily until the final dip, right? Jose, we're going to be flying high soon. I definitely think so, man. I think beginning of December is going to be very, very exciting. There's a lot of things lining up for beginning of December. G is more focused on G. Yeah, the G token, right? Dude, G token's now at what, 0.005, right? So G token might be an interesting entry there. I'm not a big fan of its like multi-token, setup there, but G token could be very interesting. What's the best to get my, what's the best, what bullish choices? Can you rephrase that question there, man? What do you mean is the best off ramp to get it off your wallet there? Or like if you want to sell? Dude, I wouldn't even sell. I'm not even going to be touching XPX during this bull cycle. I'm not even going to be touching any of that, right? This thing's built for 2028 and beyond, right? If this is the year of the sun, it's going to be the light of truth, right? But you're also going to have a lot of distractions, right? You're going to have, dude, Flare is going to kill it, right? Solar Flare, right? So Flare is going to be killing it. Anything fiery in terms of a fiery token is going to you're going to probably be hearing a lot about burning, right? Burning supplies, burning tokens, right? You're going to probably hear a lot about that during the year of the sun here in 2026. And then we go into the year of judgment in 2027, right? Judgment is the next step after that tarot card of the sun goes judgment. And in judgment, yeah, that's probably where we start getting regulations finally, right? After the Bitcoin bubble pops, you're going to see compromises in the traditional financial system. You're going to start seeing a shift towards the eco-friendly cryptos. And then perfect timing for 2028, the world, right? 2028 will be, and up to 2030 will be heavily focused on eco-friendliness, right? Because God forbid, but if we do get some catastrophes from the sun, right? We've been talking about how the sun's going to be the instigator of this change. If there is something like that ends up happening, dude, it's going to start making people more focused on green energy, green, everything being green, everything being eco-friendly, right? Consumption of things. There's going to be laws set around. Dude, you're going to get penalized if you're wasting water, right? Most likely, and things like that, right? You're going to get penalized by higher gas prices, most likely for driving a gas car, right? They're going to be pushing the electric vehicle narrative even harder, right? This is where we're going to be shifting. Dude, mining the miners for BTC are going to get cracked down on. They're going to be charged a ton that it's not going to be profitable for them to do Bitcoin mining anymore, right? And then what happens there? What is the worth of Bitcoin if you can't mine it, right? If you can't, what is it the worth to the miners of Bitcoin if they can't mine it, right? Hell, most of the Bitcoin is concentrated in like 6 or 7 mining groups, right? Mostly in China, right? So we're going to have a shift. I'm not saying BTC is going to go away, because maybe that makes it more valuable because there's no more Bitcoin left to mine and people like the scarcity, right? But it's going to be more about utility. It's going to be a shift. Dude, that is going to be such a cataclysmic event if these miners are suspended or penalized. It's going to be such a catalyst to the eco-friendly cryptos, the ones that are already carbon neutral or have been set as carbon neutral. Things like ALGO, HBAR, XRP, XLM. You're going to be seeing, holy crap, they were right all along. EWT is set up for this future, right? So I know Patsy's happy to hear about that. EWT is built for a future that's not even here yet, you guys, right? A lot of these blockchains are built for, not a lot of them, but a good amount of the blockchains that we talk about are built for a future that is not even here yet, right? He didn't want the heat of paying taxes. December 17th is going to be a big date. Very interesting. Okay, that's right before the 21st solstice. I've been hearing December 2nd and December 8th. So beginning of December, first half of December, it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely a good time to maybe take some profits, right? Because it might be a sign that we're going into the bull cycle. It'll be a sign, right? But remember, we go into Capricorn. It's a lot of grounding energy there. So we might want to be taking profits, dude, especially if you're desperate for those freaking profits. We're not desperate for anything, right? So we're going to be enjoying the ride, but I'll chip away, some profits to build up some more ammunition off some of my Tradle cryptos during the month of December if we get a relief rally. Dude, I've been chipping away during these reds, so I do not mind getting a return in early December and then enjoying my new year. And then going into January, maybe we get a bullish new year, bullish January. But I don't think January is going to be like all of a bullish month. I don't think December is going to be a whole bullish month, right? I feel like it's just going to be that first half of December, right? So maybe up until the 17th there, Patsy, or up until the 20th, right? Up until the 22nd, right? We know the power numbers of 11, 22, and 33, right? So yeah, just keeping an eye on that. Hey, maybe we get a New Year's pump. That would be amazing. But yeah, we got all of 2026, and I think we start moving during the spring, right? Around March, around July. It's going to be somewhere around there. It's going to be during the heat of the summer or the heat of spring, right? That's when we start seeing probably a lot of these, the peak of this bull cycle happening. The elite are so evil. Do you think they allow us? Dude, yeah, of course, because right now, and the reason Hustle Hard, they're so evil that they know what people are thinking. They're thinking now, ha ha ha. Now we got everybody thinking we're going to continue to dump, right? Like, and hey, they may continue up to the 29th of November, to really sell it. But right now, a bunch of people who are shorting the market are making money, right? Because it continues to dump. They're going to freaking liquidate those shorts in early December, right? They're going to liquidate the shorts, hell, maybe last bit of November, right? But they also want to wait for you to pay rent so you don't have freaking money, right? To throw in on any last minute deep breads, right? Pay rent at the end of the month and then freaking start moonshotting this stuff. Let's go. Best way to off ramp. I'm not going to be off ramping, but I think the best way would probably be doing the Binance smart contract address. I can't use MXC for native version of that crypto. So if I am taking profits off of it, I'm sending the Binance smart contract address version of it to my base, and then logging into my Pancake Swap, swapping it for some Solana, and then sending the Solana back to my base or back to my Coinbase address, and then swap, or hell, to USDC, right? Swapping it to USDC and then sending it to my base I mean, you got to jump through some hoops, but that's what happens with some of these cryptos that they don't want you to get, right? They make you jump through hoops for it. That's why I'm saying I'm not taking profits on it, man. I'm holding that, like, luckily, since it's a 000 crypto, I'm just chipping away, right? So I'm just going to hold a long term, man. This crypto, if it's as great as it is, we're going to be selling too early if it's in 2026. We're going to be selling it way too early unless you overinvested. That I understand why you got to take some profits. But this thing is built for the much longer, a longer term timeline than just this 2026 bull cycle, right? That's why we're hoping some of our other Tradle portfolio cryptos or the rewards that we've been staking from some of these other cryptos, we can cash those out, make a tremendous profit, and not even have to think about, the blue chips and cashing those out. Hey, G, Digibyte. Yeah, Digibyte's interesting. Digibyte's a very interesting crypto. I do like DGB a little bit. No pun intended there, a little bite. But Digibyte, OG crypto, DGB, very quiet blue crypto. Yeah, definitely can make some pumps. I remember always seeing Digibyte making some noise during the bull cycle. So if you like Digibyte at 008, I don't blame you for wanting to accumulate. What if it goes to 36 cents? What if it goes to 40? Right? It just 3X's its all-time high. That would be filthy, right? That would be filthy gains for the Digibyte community. And they have a strong community, man. They got a very devoted community. And yeah, it could be one of those. It has a multi-layer consensus, which is very unique amongst blockchains. So I don't blame you for wanting to jump in on the, 00's Digibyte. I mean, it's a Dino crypto as well, tested. Right? So yeah, very interesting. Nothing against it. Nothing against it. Same thing with Telcoin. Really nothing against it. Just I'm not chasing the news, right? Just because I saw the national bank thing doesn't mean I start buying right now, right? We buy in the deep reds. We buy before that, right? We talked about it in the deep reds. What's up, OB? How you doing? Appreciate you. Bloopity bloop. Ortis Drain. Good to see you, man. Appreciate your support. Rotisserie Bear, man, change your name to GDRT Deep Red Territory. There we go. Dude, Rotisserie Bear, man, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the $10 donation, man. Grateful. Grateful as always, bro. Thank you for the $10 donation. And guys, if you want to support in other ways, in the description below, right, we have our Coinbase ID there if anybody wants to send us some coffee money of cryptos. We also have our Ember app there if you guys want to mine Satoshis with us through your phone. Very easy to do, man. And I've been killing it on some of the predictions games that are on there in the Ember app. So yeah, just stacking up some Satoshis, gonna wait till I feel like Bitcoin's for sure gonna go up above 100K again. So I'm just gonna wait till Bitcoin goes up 100K plus, and then I'll probably cash out my Satoshis or like send them over to my Coinbase. It takes about a week or two for it to get there. Hey, at least it gets there. At least it gets there. Ember app, I mean, gotta hate Bitcoin, man, and how slow it is. And then I don't know why Ember app makes it even slower. But anyways, I'm willing to wait. And then once I receive that money, I freaking convert it into XRP, XLM, or XDC, and or the other X's, right? And then just enjoy life. We'll get the big pump after we get our 2K checks. AM Wood, I am very excited for that. When does that happen? Is it going to be just straight, is it going to just be straight wire transfer to our bank accounts? Like, am I just going to wake up one day and I got $2,000 in my bank account for use? Dang, dude, I don't know. That might be the first time that I spend it all at once, especially if we're still in the deep reds at that time. GDRT makes me think G-Dirt. Yeah, probably not going to be doing deep red territory, but you definitely know this is the deep red alliance over here for sure. Yeah, I think your EWT, dude, Patsy, they're trying to shake you out because you have a node, right? If you have the EWT node, they're trying to shake out the node owners. They want to make sure that they only have the ones that are faithful and the ones that are in the know, owning those nodes and cranking out EWT. But yeah, once we get into the eco-friendly era, man, I mean, things like Tibber are already, right? Virtuals base, that's already going to be eco-friendly and compliant with that stuff. So you're good with that. But EWT, I think that's where it starts to pay off. I think that's where the eco-friendly, because dude, how funny that it's like nobody's talking about eco-friendly stuff. Like nobody, right? That narrative is going to be coming back around big time, right? And it's going to be in a big way because some problem is going to happen. And the solution is more regulations for your safety that is going to be revolved around being eco-friendly, being carbon neutral, being planet friendly, right? Being planet friendly. How convenient that the last tarot card, right? We're 2 steps away from it. We're going to go into the sun year. This year has been a very reflective year. It has been the moon year, right? So the moon card in the tarot is what's it called? It is 18, right? So this has been a very reflective year, right? And we're going to go into the sun year, right? And we're going to be seeing things with the sun happening. The sun is going to be the cause of the beginning of the flip of the switch. The switch is a 3-year, maybe 4-year process. From here on out up till, dude, they have so many things that they need to achieve in order to achieve their 2028 and 2030 agendas, right? That they have going down, right? If you guys know what I'm talking about with the World Economic Forum or the BIS or, what have you, World Bank, they all have these initiatives that end up at around 2028 or 2030. Right? So there's a lot of things that, and a lot of them are concentrated with eco-friendliness, right? Less gas cars, cashless society, right? So there's a lot of things that have to go down, and it's going to be a problem that accelerates that, right? Just like how 2020 accelerated the digital age, our push into the digital age, right? It's going to be even more of that, right? Best way off of it from, to Decent, if I need to swap it around to do that, what's the best process? I don't have it on Decent, unfortunately. But yeah, if you have native version of that crypto on Decent, then you have to make sure you're sending it to a native address, which would probably be MXC, my man. And then from MXC, you would convert it to USDT, right? Which it's the trading pair that it's with. And then you would send your you would send your USDT or convert the USDT into USDC, send it over to your Coinbase, and then or Uphold, and then withdraw, right? And then cash out. Bullish choices, that's just a transfer. There we go. Good stuff, Patsy Belly. Appreciate you. I had some friends and coworkers who spent a little time in San Quentin, both as inmates and doing iron work. Okay. Blank has a surprise appointment to some financial position he has been teasing. Says noon will expect it, or no one will expect it. Yep, there we go. Yeah, I mean, dude, they're keeping this stuff. They have aces up their sleeve. They got surprises aplenty, man. And dude, he's basically after this administration basically has what, 2 more years, right? So a lot of stuff's got to go down during this year, right? The reset's got to begin, whatever his vision of, for this administration, whatever their version of the reset. But there's going to be a lot of things that come to light. If there's truth or like locking up, arrests that happen or, revelations of things, it's in this year, the year of the sun, the year of truth, right? Some truth being hidden, if you will, right? But a lot of revelations happening in the year of 2026. A lot of things. There's going to be a major catalyst. Dude, there's going to probably be people who want this administration done, right, during this year of 2026, right? And then in 2027, a major problem happens and people will just be so over this administration. And then there's going to be some ace up the sleeve that ends up saving the administration or doesn't, and then just pushes people to the exact opposite end, which is, once again, going back and forth, right? Going back and forth. I mean, either way, it has to end up in an eco-friendly, initiative that's going to be coming. A problem that's going to make everybody super eco-friendly, right? Instead of being afraid of diseases and stuff like that, which might be a thing too, but it's going to be more about like, oh man, what are we doing to nature? Let's take care of nature. This is what I'm doing for my part to make sure our earth is a safe place, right, to live on, right? The heat waves, the power outages, bunch of stuff. No longer on MXC. Okay, well, I mean, sometimes I see it pop up on MXC, which is very interesting. But if it's no longer on that, then most likely you have the Binance smart contract address version of it. So then that's how I already talked about what you would do with the Binance smart contract address version. You like Digibyte, G? Yeah, Digibyte, very, not too bad. I don't mind it. Ask ChatGPT step-by-step process. Then it's a simple transfer. There you go. Am I missing something? Why are we bridging anything to transfer from one wallet to another? Yeah, I think so. That's interesting. It is purposely confusing, for sure. They definitely make it purposely confusing, so you just don't even want to think about owning it. Jeffrey Mix. Hello, everyone. What's up, Jeffrey Mix? Are we swimming in reds? We're definitely swimming in reds, man. We're hopping around like little frogs on our lily pads. Tibber is in the 20-cent range. How fantastic is that? I got some deep reds as well here to talk to you guys about. I'm just talking. I think when eco-friendly is the next narrative. It will become the next narrative latest 2028. Latest. That's when it's going to be. A very peak of our concern for any opinion on Electroneum. Dude, I've talked about Electroneum in the past. And I still, I might miss out on, we call it blue lightning, right? We got blue everything, but blue lightning Electroneum is part of the Digital Pound Foundation. Super quiet crypto, has smart contracts that they released about 2 years ago now. Part of the Digital Pound Foundation with powerhouses, Quant, Ripple, right? A0, right? So some interesting stuff there for Electroneum, to be in the same room as those, some of those powerhouses. That's pretty interesting. So ETN, Blue Lightning, I don't mind. Dude, Electroneum was a beast in 2017. If we're doing like a buy cycle, momentum type of thing where the 2017 Dino coins are going to come back to life, right, in the 2026 bull cycle, then yeah, I mean, Electroneum's going to kill it. Electroneum was doing really great during the 2017 cycle. It's really hard to get too. Electroneum's one of the harder ones to get, without a doubt. When I hear switch, I think of getting whooped. Yeah, exactly. Anytime you hear switch, then that means get ready to get wrecked. Unpopular opinion, I think Flexa and AMP get utilized before ZBEC gets mass adopted for payroll. Flexa already has a money transmitter license. That's pretty bullish right there, man. And Flexa and AMP are very, they're very quiet as well, and they dealt with the SEC. I freaked out about Pay AI. Fortunately, I could upgrade paying a 5% late conversion fee. Interesting. Bullish, do you have the Sirius? Yeah, I have the Sirius MX wallet. Yeah, you got to send always. It's not like a sometimes. It's always with all of these digital assets. It's very important to just send a little bit at first to make sure that the transaction works. Always. Always. Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've effed up just sending a large, dude, especially in the early years, just sending a large amount and then seeing nothing showing up on the other end and freaking out and crying and then just learning to move on, right? Yes, it's not built on BNB, but so far you can only get right now the BSC version of it through PancakeSwap, right? But they're connected not only with BNB, they're connected with Solana, and they're connected with the Cosmos ecosystems, but those are going to probably be revealed later, right? That's different from the old wallet, right, from years ago. Yes, MX wallet, that MX wallet is different from the first one. But you can, dude, what you can do is still use the private key from that wallet and put it on the MX wallet, and then you have it on both, right? You don't have to create a new private key for that wallet. You can just upload your private key from that old wallet to the new wallet. And then bam, there you go. Dude, I've discovered so many lies that we've been told. Legendary. Dude, yeah, it's been a ton, man. It's been a ton, and 2026 will be the year of truth. So whatever, there's going to be some blockchains that we're going to hear the truth about, and it's going to be hard to swallow, right? It's going to be, for whatever crypto, we just have to be prepared. We just have to be prepared, right? Once again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do. I am always wrong. But the Blue Foundation is always right. This is the worst show with the best community, and I'm so grateful to the best community jumping on in here today. Always a good time hanging out with you guys. Gramos 2X, SHX, ERC20 has new contract bridge required on ERC20 version. Yeah, luckily I'm just accumulating SHX through the Lobster wallet. So that's all I've been accumulating it through. So I think that's just the native SHX, no need a bridge or anything like that. Yeah, IOTA is definitely interesting. IOTA's for sure one to keep an eye out for. Internet of Things, Internet of Sensors, that's a whole different investment group in itself. Things like IOTA, VeChain, IOTX, Nadix, things that are building sensors. Sensors are going to be everywhere. And whatever decentralized system is ahead of the game on that, seems like VeChain is really ahead of the game on this. I mean, they already have a working product in the gloves of USC fighters, right? And they have massive partnerships with BMW, right? DNLV Group, right? So VeChain could be the V that we've been all waiting for that's going to change lives, man, because of sensors, right? Sensors are going to be massive. But IOTA can also come out of nowhere, right? IOTA has been building for this machine-to-machine Internet of Things for a good long while. I haven't checked my ETN wallet in years. I mean, that's going to be like Christmas Day when you look at your ETN wallet there, Legendary, when that thing starts to go. Let me catch up with the chat here, guys. Man, is this at your house? Cookie, why would you ask me that? Why would you? Who cares of where I am? Who cares where I'm doing this from? Why do people always want to find out where I am? Like, am I asking you guys, like, tell me where you're from, where you are, and then of course you'll put up where you are, right? You'll just put it up with your username, but you're not going to show people, right? You're not going to show people where you're at. Why do people care? Dude, why? I still get reached out by random numbers, and I'll answer, and I don't even say, hey, this is my name anymore or anything like that. I freaking get, people asking, is this G? And I freak out. I freak out. I'm like, how did you get my phone number? Why? Why would you even try to get my phone number? Right? Why would you even want to, like, dude, why are you trying to get that close to me? Why does it even freaking matter to you? Dude, there's people in this chat who have way more bags and way more money than I will ever have that deserve probably your attention if you're a hacker or somebody who's trying to steal someone's money, right? It's hilarious to me and I'm not even that big, dude. We only got 5,000 subscribers. That is such small time, compared to the other YouTubers who are out there who have hundreds of thousands that are making bank off their viewers, right? It's freaking insane. Happy new moon in Scorpio. Let's go. Let's go. Moonfeather knows what's up. Hey, I bought Wrapped XX Network on Uniswap. Why is it so hard to get XX Network directly? Is the Wrapped version same as the OG? You can bridge. There's a bridge.xx.network. I think that's how you do it. It's bridge.xx.network. Or you can type down on your browser, bridge XX network token, and it should give you the URL there. And it's as simple as logging in with your whatever wallet you use to log in with Uniswap that you have your Wrapped XX on, and then you can just send it over to your native XX wallet. The reason it's so hard to get XX, you guys, is because they obviously don't want you to have it. XX Network is still available on MXC, right? But unfortunately, it's not available to US users. But XX Network is definitely one of the ones that they're trying to keep tight-lipped about, trying to keep quiet, trying to keep people distracted from even thinking about it, right? LimeWire, very interesting there, Topsy. Mask Network, definitely, dude. Mask is part of Greg Kidd's portfolio, man. We talked about Mask. That's a sleeper. Mask is definitely a sleeper. It's a blue crypto. It's got that little, esoteric wink going on with it. Greg Kidd doesn't pick wrong cryptos, man. He's made profits on all the freaking projects he has picked. This guy is one of the puppet masters, right? You want to talk about, like, everybody wants to talk about banks and institutions and all this stuff. They got into this, they got into that. But what has Greg Kidd gotten into? What has Peter Thiel gotten into? Right? What have some of these big puppet mastery type of investors gotten into? Right? And so far, Greg Kidd got into Ripple, got into HBAR, got into Filecoin, got into Mask Network, got into Cody, COTI, which is in the deep reds. Cody's now at historical lows of 3 cents, 2 billion supply, and it's providing privacy transactions not only for the Cardano ecosystem, but for MetaMask, right? Greg Kidd used to be on their board of advisors, right? So Cody, looking pretty primed here at 3 cents. Love hearing that, Topsy. That's awesome, man. I mean, it's the brightest star, right? Brightest star from Earth when you look up, right? They call it the hidden sun, and maybe it's not so hidden in the year of the sun coming up. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, Mask Network's a sleeper. Origin Trail, Track, the Track token, major supply chain crypto that has connections with IOTA, right? They have a partnership with IOTA, right? And Track is at 50 cents, negative 47% down, 500 million supply. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do. If you think I'm telling you what to do, it's obviously a misunderstanding. Native XX is DOT substrate. So from your ETH wallet to sub wallet, for example, the bridge will sniff it all out. Interesting. Yeah, I just do wrapped XX, bridge it to my XX wallet. I don't even have to go through DOT or anything like that. But yeah, Polkadot's going to be interesting too, man. Polkadot's in the deep reds, and they're keeping that one hush hush for sure. Polkadot. A lot of these powerhouse ones, man. AVAX, right? AVAX is at $14.28, negative 58% down, 720 million supply. Right? Pay AI tanked. Ooh, what a rug pull. Ooh, man, that's hard to hear. That's hard to hear. Aztec Network drops December 2nd. Interesting ICO. Okay. Hey, man, if that's your bag, that's your bag. I'm in Tell land. Come at me, bro. Hey, man, if you got Tell, I'm not against it, man. I hope we all see the promised land with whatever cryptos are tickling our fancy or drawing our passion or drawing our intuition to it, right? Because then that's when you feel the best, man. When you're in line with your intuition and you're getting the freaking digital assets that you feel the most conviction over, then you deserve the promised land. You deserve the rewards that come from that investment, even when somebody like me maybe doesn't dig it, right? Because my intuition doesn't feel that vibe, but that doesn't mean I have a better intuition than yours, right? I hope everybody sees the freaking promised land, man. It's a blue wallet app, yeah. You don't have to create a new wallet. You can upload your old wallet. Like I said, you can upload your private key from your old wallet, and then it into the new wallet, and then bam, you have the supply there, right? Oh, is this my house? Yeah, I'm streaming from my house. You're right. I'm streaming from the Blue Castle house. There we go. Gee, you're staking at... No. I'm not staking SHX on Lobster. I wish that we could stake SHX on Lobster. There's a fake crypto called YSHX. Do not, I repeat, if I tell you anything, I am not putting stuff on YSHX. They have YXLM where you can earn passive XLM, and then YUSDC where you can earn passive USDC for just holding in those assets. I'm not doing that. I'm just going straight up pure XLM, pure SHX. What makes it feel like it's staking is because I'm staking or doing liquidity pools with Fo and Dogstar, the X star, right? You could do liquidity and Aqua, right? You could do liquidity pools with your Aqua, your Fo, and your Dogstar, and then you'll earn... Dude, Dogstar pays you out every single hour, right? It pays out in Dogstar coin every single hour, And so anytime I feel like it, I could just swap it into SHX because I know SHX is going to probably be more valuable, like especially from where I'm getting it right now, is going to make up for whatever I may miss out of a Dog Star pump or X Star pump, right? So I'm throwing it into the blue bricks and XLM and building up those X's, dude. People are sleeping on how important these X cryptos are going to be to the future financial system. They revealed everything in that CBDC tech sprint of 2022. They told you what the Power 5 will be for the future financial system. They chose one winner, right? But they were already telling you these are the ones that we really want to test against each other or see how they work together, right? All of those may already have behind the scenes partnerships that they can't disclose of how they're going to interoperate with each other. Just get ready to hear about how XRP and XLM are going to interoperate with each other despite the them being competitors. Get ready, dude. SBI has their hands in all of those X's. XRP, XLM, XDC, the big star, and then the unusual one. I don't think SBI's got their hand on this, but they were part of that CBDC tech sprint of 22. QNT, right? Quant and Overledger, super quiet. Yep. And it's in beta. That wallet is in beta currently. So there's little bugs. I had to tell them about one of the bugs when I sent my BSC contract address version of it over to the wallet. It showed up as multiple zeros with the amount there. And I was like, yo, there's something wrong here, right? And then they fixed it. They actually added that update on the wallet. You can see that update that they fixed the digit bug there, right? So right now it's in the beta. They're testing out the bugs, right? And that's good to know that it's in a beta and not a full release, because I'm interested to see what happens once it's full release. XX is wrapped when you get it through Uniswap. I'm just answering questions as I go along, guys. I'm so grateful for all the activity on the chat. I can't tell you. Guys, we try to stream daily, by the way, Monday through Friday at around 3:30 p.m. PST. If we don't, we try to put the notification for the day stream at least an hour or two ahead to give you guys some time. And hopefully the algorithm lets you see it. We know we're shadow banned here, but every little bit of light from you guys definitely helps. You can swap it in Tangent. There we go. White Swan event coming in the next 30 days. I can't say anymore. Let's go. Let's go. Ribbit Capital, let's go. You said a little bit more right after that. But yeah, that's going to be big, dude. AI agent stuff is going to come back without a doubt. They took a little month break. They took a month break for sure. But it's going to be coming back bigger than ever for sure. Oh, man, what's this? This is dirty as shit. What's that? That's gross. Give me a sec, guys. What's up, Michael L. Parks? Appreciate you. Dude, Zahao is on our deep red list. Zahao at 3 cents right now, negative 57% down or 51% down, 600 million supplied. We don't know what Zahao and Evernote are going to do in a freaking bull cycle. They're going to probably rip, right? On the white paper, Zahao is called XRP Plus and Zahao XRP. Let's go. I mean, once again, in order to have that full stack micro logic or micro, payment economy, you need not only the token transfer and settlement, but you need smart contracts, you need Zahao's hooks, and you need Evernote's compute. EDL is pumping. All right, let's go. Edel, probably small cap crypto that's doing things. Poke around in the MX wallet and see if I can stake. You can't stake it. You can't stake it yet. Can't stake yet. It is a proof of stake crypto, but they haven't allowed for that yet. That'll probably be rolled out much later. Greg Kidd is almost as successful as Mickey Malka. It's very impressive, honestly. I mean, dude, Greg Kidd invested in Twitter like he was roommates with Jack Dorsey, man. The things this guy has put his hands on turn into gold, right? So I'm not messing with, like, if it's in his portfolio or came across his way, I am not messing. I'm not overthinking it. This guy is part of the wizards that are behind the closed doors, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, even look at the guy. He looks like a freaking vampire, right? I mean, this guy plays behind closed door poker games with Chris. That's how he met Chris Larson, right? He says it's a poker game, but it probably is like, elite speak for something else, right? Surge on Soul is solid too. All right. Root Network part with the Warner Brothers. Yeah. I mean, Root Network, probably, what is it, like 001 right now? QNT on sale. Dude, QNT under $100 is a great value. Oh, you live where the Tell guys are. That's hilarious. Appreciate that, Moon Feather. Yeah, double tapping the screen hits the light, guys. Price projection for SHX this bull run. That'll be about 350. I'm going to need about 350. That's what I'm hoping for, 350. 350. But SHX did run during 2024 massively. Should I say end of 2023? No, was it? Dang, I'm confusing these years. Sorry, guys. Yeah, end of 2023 and all of 2024, SHX had its own pump. So I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't do anything massively in 2026, but that is my projected goal, is about 350. I'm going to be happy with 10 cents, but it'll be about 350, right? I want 350. You could pull XLM SHX and then Aqua and SHX. Yeah, dude, you can do a lot of SHX pulls for sure. 28 observes from my Corium rewards in 4 months. Nice. AM Wood, that's fantastic. You gotta love those Corium. Dude, and Corium's like what? XYO? American Crypto, dude. XYO is one of the OG D-Pin projects, man, and has a lot of traction. For sure. Definitely not sleeping on XYO. That's another X Crypto. Great call out there, Soul of Hefe. Love my QNT. Let's go. Yeah, blend token, right? YBX, BLND. If you're into those as well, those definitely provide passive income opportunities in the XLM ecosystem. What about CBDC tech sprint? Freedom. The winners of those CBDC tech sprints are companies that don't have respective tokens to them. So I only talk about the 2022 one because those are the ones that have a blockchain that has a dedicated token along with it. There has not been a similar CBDC tech sprint, and especially in terms of creation, distribution, and then end cycle of CBDCs, right? And complete transfer of CBDCs. The only time that there was like an end-to-end CBDC competition and creation and distribution that involved projects that had dedicated tokens connected to them. It had Ripple there, but we know XRP is different from Ripple. It had Stellar there, but we know the Stellar Foundation is different from XLM. It had Dragonfly FinTech there, but we know, that they used, but all of them used their technology to show that they could provide, they ended up being finalists. So their technology was good enough to be finalists for providing end-to-end CBDC, solutions. But of course, ultimately one was chosen, but I just wouldn't be surprised if they're just all in bed with each other, especially knowing that 2020 or 22, the number of 22 is master builder, architecture built, right? So they're already telling you what they think at that time in 2022 were the master builders for the CBDC, economy. Right. And it's going to be, they're still releasing news about CBDCs. People think CBDCs are never going to happen. Right. It's just never going to be a thing. Right. Just, we'll see. Right. But that's why I only talk about that specific tech sprint, because every other tech sprint afterwards doesn't have a problem statement that's dealing with distribution of end-to-end CBDCs. And let's say it doesn't have a project in there that has a dedicated token going along with it, right? So I know a lot of people probably wonder, dude, you keep talking about just this 2022 one. There was a lot of stuff in 2020 and 2022 in that window of time in the early of 2020s, right, where they got away with a lot of stuff because there was a lot of distractions going on. One thing was doing this tech sprint during a bear cycle, right? They did that 2022 tech sprint during a bear cycle, so nobody thought much of those digital assets anyway, right? Even though they were finalists there. And then in 2020, they had an ISO 20022 hackathon, the only one of its freaking type, right? That had Mojaloop winning, showing that Interledger Protocol works best in tandem with the ISO 20022 standard, right? These are things that we keep an eye out for. Is like, wait, this was the only one of its type. There's not been a repeat. It's not like something that they do annually every year, right? OB, how do I acquire XPnet? We can acquire XPnet through PancakeSwap. We swap Solana. We can do Solana to our base wallet, log in with our base wallet on PancakeSwap, and then swap it for XPnet, and then send it, have it in our base wallet, right? I think there's other exchanges that maybe offer XPnet, but they're exchanges that I'm not allowed to sign in on because I'm in the US. My opinion on Blend, I like Blend. Blend Capital is very interesting, and Script 3 and what they're doing there with XLM. Definitely sleepers. They're keeping them very, very quiet. What's your opinion on humans.ai? Dude, we've talked about HEART, HEART, in the deep reds over the summer. Yes, human-centric AI, or, human proofs AI. It's the small h. Hedera follows them. I do dig it as a speculative investment, but that's all I view it as. I view it as a speculative investment. Hopefully, it does have some interesting backing. But hey, once again, for coffee money, I can get 1,000 of these, and the supply ain't that big. I just wait for the project to prove itself to me, prove its vision, right? I have nothing to prove to these projects. These projects got to prove themselves to me. I need Tree Fitty. Yeah, I need Tree Fitty, man. I need Tree Fitty. What do you think of Casper's price right now? Casper at 006, man. Negative 58% down, 14 billion supply for a crypto that is part of the Decentralized Recovery Alliance, and they're probably doing mind games with that freaking digital asset as well. Ooh, gee, good info on the tech sprint stuff. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, dude, I've kept track. Trust me, I keep an eye on the big I, the BIS, and what they do and what they get involved with. I keep track of every step of the way of what the Bank of International Settlements is doing. And so far in all those CBDC tech sprints, the only one, and how funny, it wasn't spread out. It's not like Ripple was in one of the tech sprints, and then Stellar was in the other, and then R3 was in the other, right? They were all, Dragonfly, Ripple, Stellar, R3, Quant. They were all, those four in particular, though, before I mentioned Quant was solving a different problem statement. So that's definitely something to include. It wasn't about distribution of CBDCs and creation and distribution and, end-to-end CBDC problem statement. It was its own, it was its own crypto in its own problem statement. It didn't end up winning, right? But still, that it was a finalist is a big deal. Right? Do you use Flare Network to stake FXRP? If so, what's your opinion on Kinetic app and their native token Jewel? Flaky, big fan of Flare, especially in this 2026 bull cycle, especially if it's the year of the sun and solar flares. Flare, I think, is going to be doing some great stuff. I just love that Flare talks about XRP all the time. So it makes me more bullish on XRP. And hey, it's probably to my detriment. I think it's just too many hoops right now for FXRP and how to get it and how to do it. I wish that I can just go on my Bifrost, swap my XRP for FXRP, just like I can swap my FLR for wrapped FLR, right? And stake my FLR and delegate it. I want it to be as simple as that, right? I need it to be as simple as that. So I don't want to jump through any extra hoops for FXRP. I've already put some XRP on Doppler Finance, and that was a much easier way of doing it, right? In my opinion, of how to stake XRP. I know I get it, go against the grain, right? Like I said, I like FLR. We have SGB right here at 002, negative 65% down, 19 billion supply in the deep reds. We're a fan of that ecosystem, but they need to make things freaking easier, right? They need to do it. I need to just be able to go on my Bifrost, send XRP there, swap it for FXRP, delegate, never think about it again, right? That's how easy it needs to be. I'm surprised that they haven't done this yet. I'm expecting that they'll do something like this in the future, maybe because right now they just want to get tests of XRP to make sure it works, to show that it works, right? Reward the early users of it, right? But you know, for me, I want it to be simpler. I'm very hard on FLR. I was like the biggest fan of FLR and SGB, you know, prior to the airdrop. Airdrop freaking wrecked me big time, right, with FLR. But now not so much of a wreckage because we're getting freaking awesome delegated rewards and I'm just building it up, and I'm, you know, more excited now to see if FLR can get us to 5 pennies, 50 cents maybe. If it gets super bullish, that would be out of this freaking world. But yeah, FLR, you know, I'm not really exploring anything else within their ecosystem. It's just SGB and FLR, and that's it for me for now. And that could be to my detriment. You know, that could, you know, you want to get exposure to these ecosystems early, and I'm missing out on the other cryptos within that FLR ecosystem. Link 2662, Chainlink 26, Gematria, let's go. Gotta love Chainlink, man. Chainlink is gonna be dude. Chainlink's one of a kind. You gotta love those cryptos that are one of a kind. And Chainlink may be the missing link that we all need and we're all undervaluing, right? Not many people talk enough about Chainlink, that's for sure. Even having one link in the chain could possibly be life-changing, right? Yeah, 2222. Deadline is 11/22/2222. On 11/22, the start of Sag season, Fire Centaur already pointing to 2026 Fire Horse year. Son, let's go. Let's go, Moonfeather. Moonfeather knows what's up. Buy Dent. Dent is done. The Dent app is done. Adoption comes with apps. Yes, XRP. Yes, XLM. Yes, but Dent is closer to adoption than all. DT1 bought Dent Telecom and is supercharging Dent's scale. Okay. I'll do a little bit more research. I'll run it through the filters. We'll see how good Dent really is. We'll see how good, you know, it's all about the tech at the end of the day. It's not about the adoption. It really isn't about the adoption. It's about the tech. Price, volume, all this stuff, partnerships, things like that. Yes, partnerships are nice, but it's the behind the scenes partnerships that matter. The ones that they don't announce yet. Right? So this is why we try to just judge purely based on tech and tech alone, right? And how close of a full stack are these techs, right? Are these blockchains? Are these blockchains, what holes do they have in them? Are some of the holes that they have to rely on decentralized, or, you know, rely on centralized storage providers? That's a really big hole. If your project isn't partnered up with Filecoin or AKT or some of these other storage solution providers that are decentralized, good luck being reliant on centralized storage, because if that centralized storage goes down, that means your freaking crypto is freaking getting compromised, man. So you don't want to be reliant, and that's just like one avenue of it, right? That's just one. How about data integrity, right? Where are you getting your data integrity from? Is it from a centralized source? Is it from a decentralized source, right? This is how we want to decipher, like, what are the real techs that can really reach mass adoption? What's the ease of integrating their platform into legacy systems? Legacy systems don't want to jump through 50 hoops to implement their technology. Once again, the change comes from within the system, not outside the system, and forcing the system to work to your, you know, remember, guys, I understand we know this is like massive, right? The potential of this whole thing, but it's still $3 trillion in market cap. That is still pennies compared to the trillions upon trillions that come in. And the trillions upon trillions that come in are going to go into the blockchains or the technologies that are most likely hybrid structure, or that can provide privacy transactions for these enterprises, because they don't want their freaking transactions being seen by the public, right? And the ease of integration. Are you going to have to hard fork when you want to upgrade the freaking platform? That's not good, right? That's why Tezos is a freaking powerhouse, because you don't have to do a hard fork to do upgrades on this freaking blockchain, right? What about Dovu, Brother G? Dovu's interesting in the HBAR ecosystem. That whole HBAR ecosystem is massive. So if you're into Dovu, Dovu's very interesting in terms of like deep reds, right? Speculative type of investment. I mean, I'm down with like once we know what our blue chip platforms that are close to full stack or like as real as can be, then we can invest in all those little cryptos and benefit from them, right? Because they're even smaller caps than those blue chips, right? And then the blue, they can make bigger gains possibly than your blue chips, right? Because people start going, oh my God, HBAR is freaking running. What other cryptos are in there? Things like BSL, Hashpack, Dovu, right? What, a saucer swap, dude, big news on the sauce, by the way. Saucer swap you can get through Coinbase now directly. Gotta love that, man. You can get like Coinbase is starting to show that they're loving some HBAR right now. So I'm hoping we can get Bank Social eventually on Coinbase. That would be amazing. That would be out of this world, dude. So they're already starting to add some HBAR ecosystem cryptos to and that's huge for Sauce, man. I'm surprised Sauce is still under 5 cents now, getting listed on Coinbase. I've been talking about HBAR and Sauce being a winning liquidity pool combo right there. Sauce is the major DEX for the HBAR ecosystem. Are the white papers? No, dude. White papers, you always want to go directly to source. You always want to go directly to the website of the project and then check out their white paper that way. Dent is in same wedge as XRP pre-2017 move. Dent is gatekeeper to WEF and SDGs. Interesting, Thomas. Does Dent do decentralized storage or KYC natively on its blockchain? I'm interested to know. Or is it reliant on third parties for its decentralized, or does it have any decentralized storage connections? Decentralized storage is an amazing filter to go through for all of these, platforms, right? Because if they're relying on AWS or Google Cloud, right, good luck, right? Because those things shut down, man. They're centralized systems. And we're talking about going in the year of the sun, right? Don't want to be the platforms or, truly decentralized projects are going to be revealed for sure. Dent tokenizes data plans for cellular. Okay, so if it tokenizes data, what is the level of its data integrity? What is the biggest example of its, data integrity? And then also, where does it store its data? Does it store the data decentralized, like natively in a decentralized manner, or is it reliant on a third party for centralization? What is XPZ? No, not XPZ. Maybe there's an XPZ out there, but I've been talking about XTZ, Tezos, right? Tezos is one of the biggest sleepers, 53 cents, negative 99 or negative 94% down. No, 44% down, my bad. Negative 44% down, 979 million supply. And you could stake that one too. I think Flexo will announce major things. I mean, dude, 2027 and 2026 are going to be great for announcements. If you look at the, I know I've been getting in a very esoteric realm here, you guys, but man, just seeing how this retrograde has already started playing out. And, destiny is written in the stars, right? So, I'm starting to pay attention to that stuff a little bit more. Obviously the technicals are very important. We're trying to do a mesh of both here. But yeah, in the 2027, it's going to be the era of whistleblowers and announcements. The trumpets are blowing in 2027, right? 2026 is when the truth and a lot of things get tested. The heat, the pressure really comes on. And then 2027 is when the pressure is released and a lot of news is released. A lot of things, bubbles pop, right? Explosions, hopefully, more explosions in price. What do you think about Collat or MFG? I've checked those two. Not really much of an opinion on them, man. Just if you're interested in them in a speculative sense. But I'll try to check out a little bit more of Collat an MFG, but just interested. They just seem like interesting speculative plays at the end of the day. HBAR is a must, yes. Oh yeah, without a doubt. Flare Network, native token Apsis, APS 2,500 plus to 15,000 max supply. Will likely rip once online lending and borrowing goes mainstream. Nice, Flaky. Crypto Sarge, thanks for what you do, Brother G. Appreciate you guys. I mean, hey, I don't give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do. I am always wrong. These are just my opinions, and you guys have your opinions. We're having a wonderful discussion because we're all obsessed with freaking crypto. Casper Labs abandoned CSPR for HBAR. Yes, we understand that, Thomas Peterson, but still, remember, I mean, you're probably tuning in for the first time here or not. If you've been watching, I appreciate you. But we talked about this last stream. Even though Casper Labs left HBAR, Casper still got added to the Decentralized Recovery Alliance before the announcement of a Decentralized Recovery Alliance was ever even made. Right? So that's very interesting to keep an eye out on, because why, after Casper Labs left HBAR, why would they include Casper and Casper into the Decentralized Recovery Alliance? So CSPR, so far as we know, is probably a hidden, they probably gave it a little bit of short-term FUD, right? And they, kept it tight-lipped. It can provide decentralized recovery. It's part of the Decentralized Recovery Alliance. They didn't have to add it to the alliance if they thought it was crap, right? Or if they didn't have any more faith in it. So there's probably something more than meets the eye here with CSPR, right? I'm not saying that we overinvest, because you know what? At this point, with a lot of these deep reds, this is what's so amazing about the deep reds. The sentiment is so low that even a small swing, if this thing explodes, will have massive, massive benefits, right? Can have a possibly big impact. So if I'm throwing $6 at Casper, I get 1,000 of these, right? And never think about it again. Let Casper prove itself, right? Let it prove its vision. And if it does start booming, it starts going to 10 cents, right? Then that makes me want to hold it even more, because we start going, oh crap, this thing's freaking legit and it can provide decentralized recovery, right? Expert end of year XRP price prediction. I'm hoping we break all-time high, at least, man. I'm hoping we break all-time high, that we see $8. That would be amazing. WV, I'll be modest, right? Hopefully. I don't really have, dude, XRP, XDC, these X cryptos are built for, 2028 and beyond, man. We still got to go through the speculative hype cycle, the bubble, the peak of the blockchain.com equivalent of a bubble. And then we start seeing the utility cryptos really coming to light. We need something to shut down in order for the new system to shut on, right? We need the cyber event as well. But, so yeah, I don't have too much high hopes in terms of the end of year for the blue chip cryptos. I'm not saying they can't run, not saying that we can't get a nice relief rally in the beginning of December, right? Because they've been selling it off so hard, man. What's the best decentralized wallet? Josiah, that's a great question, man. I'll try to find one for you in terms of decentralized wallet. I'll check that out, man. Like just a wallet in general, not like a cold storage wallet or anything, right? Any thoughts on LCX? Blue Crypto has an X logo on it. That sounds freaking fantastic. Weird stuff up there in Liechtenstein. Tons of cryptos on their platform and exchange. You can get it through Coinbase very easily. LCX had a nice run up earlier in the year. So yeah, LCX is an interesting play. Can't sleep on XTZ, dude. We were talking about Tezos, man. We were talking about Tezos. 53 cents, 44% down, 979 million supply. Everybody sleeps on Tezos. You don't need to fork to do a major upgrade on Tezos. Usually when you want to do a major upgrade, right, on a platform or on one of these old school blockchains, they need to do a fork of some sort. Hell, Bitcoin Ethereum, right? So Tezos is definitely ahead of the game on that. What do you think the price of Casper could hit? Once again, I'm not expecting, I expect the distraction cryptos to really be taking front and center. Celebrity meme coins, things like Solana, Ethereum, Binance, Avalanche, SUI. I'm not saying, dude, Avalanche is a legit crypto though, but I'm expecting these micropayment focused or decentralized recovery cryptos. I expect them to have a nice run up, but I don't expect them to be like over the top bullish. So, but I can see CSPR, that would be awesome if it went to 10 cents, man, during this bull cycle. That would just already, that would already wake up a lot of people and going like, oh, wait, is there something going on here? Is this thing alive? It's funny, once again, we're still in speculation though. It's still just speculation that's driving the market. Like the price and volume and even the speculation is all a distraction. Like there's going to be people who see, the cryptos running this 2026 bull cycle and they go, hey, these are the real deal cryptos. They're going to flag plan and say, hey, these are the ones that are going to succeed for years on end, right? Just like they did last bull cycle. And then we saw what happened there. Dent stores its data on the ETH blockchain. Okay. I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of Ethereum whatsoever. Ethereum gets bloated. Ethereum has high gas fees. Dent needs to store it somewhere else. Needs to store it on a more decentralized blockchain, right? A more reliable blockchain, in my opinion. But I'll look into Dent, man. I'll look into Dent. I'll run it through some of the filters, see how good this tech is, right? It's got to be more than just the UK use case and the customers that they're going after or have signed up. It's got to be how good is this damn tech of this technology. Can this tech be replicated by some of the blue chips, right? Can it eventually be replicated or created rolled out from some of the blue chips, right? That's what makes it one of a kind, completely different from all the other blockchains in this space, right? We're trying to see how unique it is. Shout out to you, Thomas. I appreciate the interaction as well, man. We're all having a discussion. And once again, I am always wrong, and I love it when people disagree with me, and but we can have a good discourse, right? We can have a good discourse. CSPR staking is also lit. There you go. Yeah, forget about it. Forget about it. There you go. How are we prepared for the cyber event? I have limit orders on XRP and XLM blockchains. We are prepared for the cyber event by putting all our blue chips into cold storage ASAP. The amounts of the blue chip, we have our tradle portfolio and a hodl portfolio. And in the hodl portfolio, it's for the micro payment economy, 2030 plus. It just sits in cold storage. Only transactions going in, no transactions ever going out. Trying to keep it fully air gap, trying to keep it, no trace from these hackers, right? Hell, I don't think hackers are going to come after me because I don't really have too much skin in the game. I think the hackers are going to be focused on the larger accounts that are out there. But hey, please God, right? We'll see. But, definitely very important during this year coming up, 2026, to keep, your blue chips, the ones that you want for the long term, very, very safe and in cold storage. And and then 2027 is when the cyber event is expected. IXO, the blue butterfly, gotta love it. Blue tulips. Yeah, we got our blue rose. Rose is at a penny right now, you guys. Rose, Oasis protocol or Oasis network is at a penny. 10 billion supply, negative 60, negative 75% down on the year. Dude, Rose is one of those sleepers, man. Very forward thinking on being inherently private smart contracts. Very forward thinking in terms of being AI focused. Very excited to see, and it can provide decentralized recovery. It's part of the Decentralized Recovery Alliance. Got to get back into work. Shout out to you, Hustle Art Crypto. I appreciate you guys. We did an 1.5-hour stream today. Holy cow, we got to get going. So, man, I got lost in the chat. You guys just kept asking questions. Opinions on stable STBL and STBL. Interesting speculative play in the early days to make some money on a speculative play. In terms of long term, we'll see. We'll see. I know Crypto Canvas is really bullish on it, and I support Crypto Canvas like 100%, man. So if he's bullish on that and he's excited about it, then, I'm for it. But, it's in terms of from my side of things, I'm probably going to miss out on STBL, honestly. And then I'm going to have a bunch of I told you so's, and it is what it is. Hey man, we miss some, once again, we got to go to where our intuition draws us, man. And it's, I respect, Crypto Canvas's, excitement for STBL and Block V. I own some Block V for sure. I'm going to be riding Block V with him to the moon. And if Block V does well, then STB is going to probably, STBL will probably do well. But, hopefully some of these other cryptos that we have will do well. It's going to be a multi-chain future nonetheless. Some I'm going to miss, some I'm going to be on, and we'll all be able to celebrate and make it to the promised land, I'm sure. XRP is a Gemini coin launched on 6/2. Uranus will enter Gemini for 2026. Uranus loves to be in Gemini, except XRP. Expect XRP to do great even more after the date speculatively. Dude, Moonfeller. Fantastic. That's wonderful. But yeah, STBL, I'm just like focusing on X's and cryptos that can provide decentralized recovery, that have top tier tech, that have just native decentralized storage, native KYC on them, private infrastructures or, hybrid infrastructures, CBDC tested. I'm going for those type of platforms personally. But yeah, I'm not saying it's a S coin or anything like that. It's going to probably do amazing. And who knows, maybe it goes beyond how I'm even thinking about it. Right. Because I haven't obviously done enough research on it, but just from, I'm just kind of more concentrated over on the X's. I like X cryptos. It's all about X's. Cyber event will occur next month. If not, then all right, Flaky. I mean, NTT data told us 2027, but if it happens before, then that means they moved the goalposts up, and I'm totally down. I'm totally down for that. Cyber event prep. Let me explain XRP and XLM. Yeah, exactly. It's the cryptos that can work offline. If there's power outages on any part of the globe, those blockchains still go. They still run, and they're not reliant on third-party rails for storage. ISO 20022 is already active in parallel to current systems. So the DeFi on the blockchain work offline. Put limit orders for 1K for spikes. Let's go. Have multiple cold storages, Decent, Tangem, and Ledger Nano. Nice. Fantastic. And paper wallets are never bad, or steel wallets, right? Where you can just have the private key on a steel wallet. Then that way you don't even have to have any digital device or anything like that, right? Where do you figure Rose when will it finally show up? I mean, it's looking like it's just going to finally show up when the rest of the DREC Alliance decides to freaking show up. That's for sure. But they don't know what they're doing, keeping us having more, opportunities right there. Rose hasn't done chat for years. Dude, a lot of these cryptos haven't done chat for years. It doesn't mean that it's not good. Prices and volume are a distraction. Hell, people have been waiting 4 years for their respective cryptos to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just Rose. It's not just Rose. I mean, it joined the Decentralized Recovery Alliance during a bear cycle, right? Once again, I don't look at the charts. I don't freaking care about the charts. I just look at the tech, the quality of the tech, researching the tech, the quality of their collaborators with the tech. They were decided. They joined the Decentralized Recovery Alliance. It's already differentiating itself from millions of other cryptos out there that if shutdowns were to happen or power outages were to happen, Rose would still be running while stuff is offline. That's very important, man. Once again, we're still in the Wild West speculative phase of digital assets and crypto. They do great with mind games, right? Of making you think about, oh, but the price is this, or the chart's like that, or the volume is like this, or, it's too hard to get. It's too, all this stuff, right? This is all on freaking purpose. So you miss out on the real deal ones that are going to take us into the new age, into the new economy, into a fully digital rails economy. We're still running on traditional rails. And that's why things like Bitcoin and Ethereum and others do well during the speculative phase, especially thinking that we're still going to be running on traditional rails. We already see that the digital tracks are being built right in front of our freaking eyes for the moment the shift is going to begin. The traditional system is going to get compromised. It's going to be rendered obsolete. Absolutely obsolete. These hackers are going to make sure of that, right? The hackers will make sure that they have to go to a new solution that makes it even more difficult for hackers to hack into people's systems, into their accounts, right? The traditional banking system is going to be obsolete. It's going to go into the new banking system, the new way, right? Shout out to everybody. X marks the spot. X is 10, say 10. There we go. Dent has both charts and fundamentals. All right, right on. Hopefully you're not over-invested in any crypto, my man. It's never good to be over-invested. Hopefully you were just chipping away. But BTC also works offline, miners and satellites. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see, man. Once again, we talked about what could go down with BTC and miners. And, you know, what happens when BTC mining is not relevant anymore? How valuable is BTC then? What happens when utility starts to become the focus? What happens when the focus shifts towards a very eco-friendly economy and world? People are going to shift their sentiment towards eco-friendly cryptos, cryptos that were very forward-looking, the Bitcoins of the eco-friendly generation, right? Things like Algorand, HBAR, XRP, XLM, XDC, and so on, right? I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to go away. I'm just saying it's not going to be number one forever. There's people who think it's literally going to be number one forever. It's not going to be number one forever, unfortunately. It is a machine. It is a tech. It is not gold. It is a tech. There's utility. We use technology. It is called technology because humans and their relationship with technology is always about use, right? Even from when we created our first club, which is a technology, we used it. It was a powerful use case for it, right? Freaking watching 2001: A Space Odyssey will let you know about our relationship with technology. Bitcoin is a technology, and ultimately it's about use. It's not about store value. It's not about, dude, there's other places that are better there's no physical representation of Bitcoin. That already is a major hole, right? You need the physical as well as the digital in order for it to be an amazing store of value. And there's a store of value that people slept on. Dude, while people have been chasing Bitcoin, gold, we talked about gold back in 2018, 2019, talking about how important gold is, right? And look at where gold has gone up now, right? I understand it's not making quite the gains that Bitcoin has, right? But this thing has been something that has been time tested over hundreds of thousands of freaking years as a store of value, man. The biggest mind game that these crypto people have done is making you think that gold is absolutely worthless in comparison to Bitcoin and crypto, right? That there's a new gold, right? Gold's no longer relevant, right? Having CZ and Peter Schiff, two members of the elite, play a mind game, making Peter Schiff look like an idiot, making CZ look like he's a freaking hero, right? Of the new digital age, right? This is how they do it. He's younger, he's cooler. Everybody who's in crypto likes CZ more than they like Peter Schiff. And then Peter Schiff just sounds like an idiot anytime he talks about gold anyway, right? This is how they keep pushing you away. But what are the banks doing? What are the big money doing? They're hoarding for years, hoarding gold. Why would they do that? Why would they be hoarding freaking gold and not hoarding Bitcoin, right? Why wouldn't they be hoarding, digital assets? There's going to be something that's going to revive, it's either tokenizing gold or pegging gold to a digital asset of some sort or a stable coin of some sort. And then bam, back into, and how funny, as we go into the year of the sun, what is the logo for gold? The sun, right? It's literally a sun. That is the logo for gold in ancient times, right? So, people are undervaluing gold and choosing Bitcoin over it. I'm not undervaluing gold. No. And I'd rather choose alts over Bitcoin any day. There's alts that have just way more technology, way more utility, and we are not in an era of utility whatsoever. The utility right now is speculators and then everyday developers, right? Everyday just developers who are picking their blockchains that they want to build their products on. It's none of the enterprise developers, and if there's enterprise development going on, it's not on public GitHubs. It's on private GitHubs where you can't see those developers, right? Everybody always brings up, oh man, developer count of Ethereum versus developer count of Solana and developer count of this. That is what they allow you to publicly see. They never let you see the private repos. They never let you see the private GitHubs, right? That's where the real development is happening. That's where the real products are being freaking built. Let's go. Okay, let me just catch up with, yeah, BTC will fade, yes, without a doubt. No doubt about it. I mean, I'm not saying it's going away completely. And, you know, there's going to always be people who keep the faith in the store value narrative of it and stuff like that. But utility will ultimately win out. That's what's going to draw the trillions upon trillions, not store of value, right? There's already so many store of value options out there. Gold to 10K, dude, gold to 10K plus. 10K is not even the final goal, but I totally hear you, Thomas. Yeah, silver is going to definitely make a ton of money, right? Uranium is really, you know, valuable, right? Or, you know, cheap to buy. Palladium, right? Titanium, you know, any precious metals of choice, really, man. I like gold just because freaking, you know, that's almost like the safest. You know, silver and gold for sure. Copper, right? Copper is going to be doing some good things. Only trade BTC to short it. Let's go. Gold going to 10K. Let's go. I'll sell my teeth if gold goes to 10K. Dent, XRP, XLM, ALGO, XDC is my portfolio. There are others, but I only got so much money to invest. I got you, man. I got you. Definitely. Hey, man, that's not a bad bag. That's not a bad bag at all, Thomas. And I'm certain you're going to probably see the promised land with those digital assets without a doubt, man. But anyways, guys, good times, good vibes. Here, let me turn on my car for a second here. We got to end the stream out, guys. We've almost gone full 2 hours, man. You guys have made the time fly by. I hope you've enjoyed this extensive stream today. I'm so grateful for all of y'all, but let me just run through the deep reds really quick. So we got XPNet, we got XPX, we got Aqua, we got Track at 50 cents, negative 47% down, 500 million supply. We got Zahao at 3 cents, negative 51% down, 600 million supply. Tezos at 53 cents, 44% down, 979 million supply. We got VeChain at a penny, negative 57% down, 86 billion supply. Filecoin at $1.88, negative 57% down, 2 billion supply. Avalanche at $14.28, negative 58% down, 720 million supply. Layer Zero at ZRO at $1.40, negative 60% down, 1.8 billion supply. Near Protocol at $2.39, negative 58% down, 1.2 billion supply. Casper at 006, negative 58% down, 14 billion supply. DAG at a penny, negative 64% down, 2.6 billion supply. SGB at 002, negative 65% down, 19 billion supply. We got Cody, COTI at 3 cents, 2 billion supply, negative 69% down. XPNet at 0003, 1 billion supply, negative 69% down. We got Render at $2, 644 million supply, negative 73% down. Rose at 1 penny, 10 billion supply, negative 75% down. W at 5 cents, 10 billion supply, negative 78% down. LSK Lisk at 21 cents, 120 million supply, negative 75% down. Python Network at 8 cents, 10 billion supply, negative 79% down. AXL at 13 cents, 1.1 billion supply, negative 81% down. XX Network at a penny, 1 billion supply, negative 81% down. Hashpack at 009, 1 billion supply, negative 89% or 81% down. IXO, the Blue Butterfly at 003, 160 million supply, negative 81% down. VRA, excuse me. Sorry, guys. That was pretty gross. Okay. PAC at 009, 1 billion supply, negative 81% down. VRA at 0003, 10.3 billion supply, negative 88% down. Rune at 77 or 70 cents, 500 million supply, negative 86% down. AKT at 52 cents, 388 million supply, negative 87% down. A0 at a penny, 520 million supply, negative 95% down. And then DEAI at 2 cents, 1 billion supply, negative 96% down. Guys, I'm so grateful for everybody who's jumped into this stream and supported us. Thank you for hitting the like. I'll never tell you what to do. I am always grateful, so thank you for hitting the like. Thanks to any new subscribers helping this channel grow and shining some light into our shadow ban. Thanks to any new members to the channel. Once again, in the description below is ways to support us, like Coinbase ID, our Ember app referral code if you want to mine passive Satoshis with us, and our Swash and Merc store are also there as well. I am grateful for each and every one of you. We try to stream daily at around 3:30 p.m. PST. You can expect a notification to be up before we stream, of course, if it's earlier or later than that. But I'm so grateful for y'all. Much love to everybody here. Thank you, Blue Foundation. Thank you, Green Giants. And thank you, Deep Red Alliance. The future is distributed ledger technology, and the future is bright. Our future is bright. We got the golden eyes, and we keep it crypto. I'm going to keep trying if you guys keep trying, and I'll see you in the Blue Castle. Much love. Adios.